All right, what's going on, Conscious Crew? It's your favorite breakdown commentator. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to get into. Before we get into it, go ahead and thumbs up the video until it's absolutely stuck. You guys know I've been working my ass off, so we need all the likes, all the thumbs up, because, baby, YouTube ain't even been able to keep up with me, baby. So if you are a part of the Replay Gang, you are a active member in the chat, or you are a Bush baby, please give me a nasty piece of thumbs up, baby, because we are definitely working overtime in this season. Also, shout out to all the new subbies. Make sure that you guys subscribe and have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your Twitter, the dark side of your OF or Tumblr. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link, because let them whores know that we're live, and we are certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, what is going on, Conscious Crew? Let me speak to everybody in the building. Please thumbs up. What is going on? 1976, Gen Xer. Hey, what's going on, Sabby, Ian Gardner, Young Stacy? What's going on, Sandra? What's going on, Serena, Carolyn? What's going on, Teresa, Tracy, Lady D? What's going on, Lynn? Hey, TW. What's going on, High Maintenance? Hey, Corinthia. What's going on, Rumors and T? Hey, Sam. What's going on, Sandy? Hey, everybody, please thumbs up the video, you guys. All right, we are back. It is a lot going on. The story constantly unfolds. If you guys have been missing the last few live streams, you need to catch up, because I'm not going to be doing, big old, I'm not going to be like, unpacking everything over and over again after we've discussed it. So you guys to be keeping up with the commentary. If you missed the earlier live stream, you guys know that we got into some things regarding Wells Fargo. We learned a lot more about how the conservatorship came together. And to make a long story very short, the conservatorship situation was a combination of events and was the result of a lot of parties who were actually pushing for the courts to get involved, because the family and Wendy's peers and employees had practically lost control of the entire situation. Wells Fargo and them flagging her account was kind of just like the final straw that broke the camel's back. They initially were only petitioning for a financial guardianship due to their belief that she was being financially exploited. We pulled up this here Wells Fargo letter, courtesy of the attorney Simone Redwine's platform, that basically showed that Wells Fargo had petitioned the courts to greenlight a financial guardianship, which practically put Wendy Williams in a position to have to prove to the courts basically that she was competent, despite their expert opinion and analyst, and to prove that she was just competent and she was a person who could make sound decisions. Okay, Wendy Williams did not attempt to get a power of attorney until after the courts that got involved, after the petition for financial guardianship had went into the system, and this is what resulted in her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., being rejected as a power of attorney. In other words, it was a little bit too late. All right. What we learned from the filings of Wells Fargo during their proceedings against Wendy Williams is that upon them initially only seeking a financial guardianship for Wendy due to allegations that her son was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars of her money, he had ran up a $300,000 tab within a short amount of time alone. And a lot of the headlines were very concerning at this time. Wendy was in and out of rehab. It was one issue after another. She wasn't doing the Wendy Williams show. And so there was this growing concern about what really Wendy Williams could handle, what state of mind she really was in. And now there are these huge deposits coming out of her bank account, coupled with the fact that her husband was trying to get all her damn money. Okay. You know, he was going for all the alimony, going for all the spousal support, going for, you know, everything he believed he was owed. So there was a lot of spotlight on Wendy's money. And the financial advisor from Wells Fargo, upon analyzing her account and apparently just, you know, being really concerned for this woman, then decided to go to her superiors or his superiors, and then the rest was history. Now what we learned from the petition was that upon them initially only requesting financial guardianship, apparently other members of Wendy Williams' inner circle, via her friends and her family and her professional peers, aka production members from Wendy Williams' show, all got involved in the opportunity, or they sought opportunity to get involved when Wells Fargo did what they did, because Wells Fargo submitted this filing here to request the courts for confidentiality around a financial guardianship. And their concerns initially about her finances were exacerbated when other undisclosed individuals from her inner circle came forward to say, yes, absolutely, this woman is in trouble. She needs help. We need the court's help. And Wells Fargo, as a result of not wanting to put their sources in a compromising position, asked the courts, could they basically reveal their findings and reveal the identity of these persons and present what was presented to them on behalf of the inner circle members of Wendy Williams to the courts confidentially, conceal their identity so that there's no in-house fighting, because of course Wendy probably wouldn't appreciate, you know, people that she trusted, her friends, her family members, etc., you know, aiding and abetting, and for the right reasons initially, because I don't think anybody knew exactly what they were getting themselves into when it came to the guardianship situation. But because Wendy was living in utter chaos and she was on the decline in every which way, and people were practically just expecting Wendy to die at any given moment. She was being found unresponsive in her apartment. She had to receive several different blood transfusions. She had one disease after the other, for hypothyroidism to Graves' disease to frontotemporal dementia to progressive aphasia. It was just all this going on. She couldn't even work professionally and do her job because her addiction and her diseases were just all fucking her shit up, that her friends and family got very desperate. So they joined forces with Wells Fargo, who created this opportunity to speak to the courts about protecting Wendy ultimately against herself, because she wasn't allowing anybody to help her. She wanted yes men around her. We saw this in the Where Is Wendy Williams Now documentary. We saw her bullying her employees, berating them. We saw them people pleasing her in order to keep their jobs by giving her alcohol. Big bottles of wine and liquor were found in her bedroom. She, you know, was being taken out to dinner by her employees, and they were allowing her to order drinks under the guise that one wine glass or two sips of wine or 3 glasses of wine won't ever hurt nobody, when once again, this woman has FTD, frontotemporal dementia, due to her alcoholism. Literally, her addictions created some of the neurological diseases and issues and breakdowns and injuries she's suffering from right now that got her ass locked up in a guardianship. So her team and community in part was failing her, but the part of her team, the aspect of her community that was not her yes men, such as her sister, such as maybe other relatives like Alex per se, they were getting a lot of pushback. And because Wendy obviously was not taking heed to the people who were willing to tell her the truth, she was continuously in trouble, in and out of the hospital, in and out of rehabs, in and out of mental health facilities, because Wendy did not have the will and she did not have the interest to transcend her circumstances. She wanted to lay down in her addiction, which was causing her also neurological issues. All right. So we have no idea exactly, due to the fact that the courts did conceal the record. They allowed Wells Fargo to introduce all the tea, all the inside tea they got from members of Wendy's inner camp. So that record is sealed, and the identities of these persons, who they were, we have no idea. I was speculating on if the brother, Tommy, might have been one of these people who Wells Fargo was protecting. Maybe, hell, Alex herself at the time. You know, she outside right now, you know, saying, you know, free Wendy, free Wendy, free Wendy. But because Wendy was in a dire situation, she also might have been one of the people who was very desperate to see her aunt remain alive, and also cried aloud through the courts to intervene in the situation with Wendy, since Wendy wasn't allowing anybody to help her. She might now regret that. But once again, she could have been one of the people that aided and abetted initially with Wells Fargo, when everybody was on the same page, including Wells Fargo, including some members of her friends and family, who agreed that Wendy was living irresponsibly and she was about to blow it, and ultimately maybe about to lose her fucking life, if there was no intercession, if there was no absolute attempt to save her life and to save her from herself. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. So I find this tea to be so interesting. It's also very pivotal in really understanding the complexity of Wendy Williams' situation and how this guardianship situation happened. As I've been doing the deep dives, and once again, you guys, look back over all of the live streams, because I bring everything in. Listen to the unhinged story of Wendy Williams, Wells Fargo, etc., and then listen to all the other commentary after that, because there's so much information and so much perspective that have been coming together to make sense of initially what just seemed like one powerful guardianship program against a wealthy public figure, when that is actually not the case at all. The situation is a lot more nuanced, as all things actually are, and are not simply as black and white as they've been made to appear. There's a lot of moving parts, right? So I'm curious to just know, once again, who some of these insiders were, what was disclosed to the courts. The courts did conceal the record. Wells Fargo was able to spill the tea. Once again, Wells Fargo had their own situation with Wendy, trying to protect her financially. They only were seeking a financial guardianship, but because all that became public news as well, you know, that Wells Fargo has frozen Wendy's account. If you just Google that, you see all of the articles from around that time frame that all this was going on. So, of course, with her friends and family, those who were desperate, those who also believed Wendy needed help and needed to be saved from herself, they saw those same headlines. They contacted Wells Fargo. They spilled tea to Wells Fargo. They also wanted their likeness to be protected, because they didn't want to cause division amongst her inner circle. They didn't want to cause division amongst her family. Apparently, this was a situation where everybody was on different pages. You know, you had the enablers in her team, which were two types of enablers. The people who were weak as hell and could not withstand telling Wendy no, because they had their own agendas, aka employment, aka wanted to keep their jobs, keep proximity, and just be close to the moolah. So they allowed and aided and abetted Wendy in continuing to destroy herself through her addictions. Then you had the other enablers, which were the people who were just indifferent. They didn't care one way or another. They sat by and watched everything take place. They watched everything unfold. And, you know, it was what it was. They left Wendy to her own devices, for better or for worse. Then you had the contrast of the people who were like on Wendy's neck. On Wendy's motherfucking neck. On her neck hardcore, girl. Like, no, bitch, you're not going to be drinking. You're going to straighten up. You know, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. You know, who were on her ass. Like green on grass. All right? And those were the people, her non-yes men, who galvanized with Wells Fargo and getting help. But once again, even though that did not turn out quite maybe how everybody thought that would, but at the time, this seemed to be what was necessary. And it's kind of clear to me that most people, because they don't know much about guardianships, didn't know that once the courts get involved in something like this, and once they greenlight something like this, that it's very difficult to get out of a situation like this. Once you have been deemed incompetent by the state and you essentially become property of the state, even if you initiated that program for a very good reason at the time, it's hard to then transition out of that and to get back under the control of your loved one's actual body, their physical assets, their money, etc. All right? So the situation is a very complex one. Now, in part one, when I had unpacked this whole thing and had went through, you know, a pretty deep dive, we pulled up all of the reports transpiring basically from 2017 up to 2024, going through that whole timeline where her team members and her family were crying out. People were very desperate. Wendy was getting worse. Her behavior was getting erratic, you know, and at one point, once again, reporters were reporting that the friends and family of Wendy actually were pleading at this point, begging for somebody to help Wendy, the courts, etc. So the Wells Fargo situation was an opportunity for a lot of people who meant well and who wanted to help her even outside of Wells Fargo themselves. So we have that. Now, you guys know that Tommy, Wendy's controversial brother, who has a mixed relationship amongst the public, spoke out following Wendy Williams' interviews. He had a lot to say initially, but he tried to keep it as corporate and as cute and as MLK-ish as he could in his criticisms. But ultimately, he slammed Charlamagne Tha God for basically not doing anything more than just standing behind a hashtag and giving her a microphone when it's clear that the forces at work are going to require a lot more than people hashtagging free Wendy Williams on social media in order to move a mountain of this size, and a mountain that is as powerful it is because of the way the law is set up, particularly New York state law. Okay, nothing about hashtagging free Wendy is going to help her. There's going to have to take some real reform and some real refinement of the guardianship program and initiative in the state of New York. He also had softly criticized his family because when Wendy came to visit just a few weeks ago for her son's graduation, apparently that 9 days they were there, which Wendy was accompanied with two handlers, which was a man and his wife, who acted pretty much as Sabrina Morrissey's Wendy Williams handler, her supreme handler. They operated as Sabrina's eyes and ears. Apparently, according to the brother, and now according to Wendy, because I did listen to the Hollywood Unlocked interview, and we'll get into that in a second, they were lit for that 9 days. Obviously, it was a time of celebration. The family was happy. Kevin Hunter Jr. is happy. He's celebrating. So, of course, the family turned up. Well, apparently, they might have been a little bit too turned up, and it resulted in the optics making the situation look like something that it wasn't. Even though they were going out into the city in Miami, they were going out to nice restaurants, having dinners every day, pretty much partying. You know, of course, it's a celebration. Everybody else there is grown. Nobody else there is in a guardianship but Wendy Williams. So apparently, other family members were sipping and drinking and doing this in the presence of Wendy, ordering liquor, and the handlers, this man and this woman who was meant to supervise her during this 9-day trip, they were doing their fair share of recording things. They were doing their fair share of taking pictures, taking videos, and they reported back to Sabrina because that's their job to do. And that might not have worked out too well for Wendy because the optics of it all made it look like possibly Wendy might have been exposed to alcohol, something that, once again, she's in rehab, she's a recovering addict. Not only does she not need to do alcohol, and she has an alcohol-induced disease, but she also don't need to be in the presence of it as no addict recovering from anything, needs to be in front of the very drug that they were addicted to. People who recovering from cocaine don't need to be in front of cocaine. People who recovering from alcoholism don't need to be in front of alcoholism. People who recovering or trying to diet don't need to be around people who hoarding and binging food. It's common sense. So as a result of the way this looks, the way the family party, the way the family basically paid no attention and had no concept of situational awareness, it might have led to more growing concerns between Sabrina and rather her family, or rather Wendy's family, really does have her best interest at heart. So Tommy slammed the family publicly, and I agree with Tommy. You guys can get all my thoughts about why I agree with Tommy. He basically called the family out for being reckless and for not having no situational awareness. He talked about how there are so many eyeballs on this situation that the family is not in a position to be able to do what they want without understanding that the way they make things look is basically what they're going to have to contend against, because that stuff has to come under review to Sabrina and the guardianship team. If they out partying and Wendy is, a woman with a plethora of health issues, she's got a lot of different diseases going on. She's recovering from addiction. It doesn't look right, especially with the fact that she's already under a guardianship under the guise that she's being exploited financially. The family may not want to care about that because they're like, fuck that. That's not our truth. We know we love her. We know we ain't doing nothing to her. And us drinking is not equivalent to her drinking, etc. Y'all know how egotistical people get. But the reality is, like Tommy said, you got to play chess, bitch, not checkers. We got to play chess, not checkers. If we know right now Sabrina and the New York courts got this shit swallowed the fuck up like this, and we practically ain't got no way in except through Sabrina Morrissey, we got to play on her chessboard, and we got to make everything when she's in our custody and during her time with us look as simplistic and as easy and as healthy as possible. So if every time she come here, we turning the fuck up, we going out to dinner, everybody drinking, everybody smoking, everybody cutting the fool, of course, it's going to just look like we are not capable, nor are we genuinely interested in prioritizing what's best for Wendy. So he basically just said, read the goddamn room, bitch. Okay, just read the room. Now, in reading the room, girl, I read the comment section, and of course, people were slamming him, which I expected, because at this point, I understand that, like, social media is just filled with mostly a bunch of emotionally unintelligent people who are very emotionally driven, who do not really allow themselves to placate to what's necessary. Instead, they more easily placate to narratives. They more so placate to emotionality, not really per se logic, not per se the priority of facts. And so, of course, he was getting his ass kicked in the comment section of people saying, you should be helping and you should be dissing and what are you trying to get at and blah, 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 and boom, 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 and cool, 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 and ka, 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 ma, and rah, rah, rah. When the reality is, Wendy is afraid for those very reasons because they did not play the optic game right. And now her ass crying all over Don Lemon, crying all over the Breakfast Club, crying all over Hollywood Unlocked about not possibly being able to see her father for his 94th birthday simply because they did drop the motherfucking ball. So to Tommy's point in vindication and validation, what he's saying is on brand and on part, regardless of whether people like the fact that Wendy got an answer to somebody, whether the fact that the public doesn't like the fact that the family has to answer to Sabrina, whether the family likes it or not that they have to answer to Sabrina. If they don't answer to Sabrina, and if they don't make themselves look competent and safe and easy and sensible, Sabrina is going to have the last word no matter what all of us feel. And if it's important for Wendy to get in proximity and relationship to her family and to have as much time as she can with the people that she loved the most, aka her father, etc., the family is going to have to get with the program if those things are as important as they claim that it is. Tommy also in his commentary talked about him and Wendy talking about it and him holding her accountable. Like, yeah, this isn't going to work out, Wendy. If you don't get your shit together, if we don't get our shit together. And he made those thoughts also public and put them out there. Well, Tommy is bike. And this is what he had to say. He apologized to Charlamagne and he kind of succumbing to the pressure. So this is going to be somewhat of a Dear Tommy Williams video. All right. I did not cue this up. So let me try to fast forward to wherever the hell this is. And y'all thumbs up the video, please.
That way, or maybe I was wrong or whatever happened.
Okay, here we go. Let me,
you know, and it's nice because, you know, something that's always initiated by Wendy, and that's to lots of things. Namely, right now are the mugs and the t-shirts.
Okay, hold on.
Aiden Young, hey, how are you, fella? Seems like we were just.
This is Tommy, Wendy Williams' brother. Let me pull up an image for y'all. This is going to be audio covered by fair use, of course. I'm trying to cue it up because I did not cue it up prior to hitting the live stream. We're going to get into Wanda as well. I got some more stuff to divulge about that.
Talking a moment ago. Big shout out to everybody out there who've been making supportive donations to the cause. You know, namely right now are the mugs and the t-shirts that we have here on the platform. Free Wendy. More merchandise definitely will be coming up. You know, I was just speaking about that. So we're looking forward to lots of things.
Okay, so before we get back into this, I want to say I absolutely agree. B-Rock, who says, I want Wendy to be free, but only if she is healthy and able to handle her own responsibilities. Yes, if that's what free Wendy means, that's what I want too. Also, I want to respond to Liz, who says the problem is Sabrina is out of pocket. If they could get the court to take a look at how Sabrina is ruling with the iron fist, Wendy may be able to get some justice. Okay, so Sabrina, as we've been covering, Sabrina was appointed by the judge that presided over the Wells Fargo litigation with Wendy and the bank institution. The judge appointed Sabrina Morrissey, who is a New York-based attorney. Okay, so that's who the judge chose. That's who they put in place. And this is why the family was saying, and lots of people just in general have spoken out about guardianship programs around the country. There are some horror stories. There are some positive stories. It's a weird system kind of across the board. It's kind of being worked out in some states right now. They've created like other alternatives to guardianships, which are less restrictive and that are more rooted in kind of getting in where they fit in when there needs to be assistance in situations where disenfranchised people, like disabled people, are struggling in their life, etc., or have parents who may have to make certain choices over their estate, over their autonomy, and these kind of like middle ground organizations. I think one is called SDM, I believe. I forgot what the acronym stands for, but it's basically like it's what you would idealize when it comes to a guardianship. The guardianship is kind of like the hardcore personification of that assistance. The SDM, if I'm not mistaken, is like a perfect middle space that is not restrictive unless that's what the individual wants. If they need that level of help, they get that level of help. When they feel competent, they feel better, they've gotten on their feet due to the resources and the assistance provided by SDM, then, you know, they're able to go back into their lives. They're able to have their rights and their autonomy reinstated to them, etc. It's not as ironclad as the guardianship program is. So, because of the way that the law is set up, it allows the courts, who are basically acting as her parents. The courts basically, because of the way the law is set up, and because the guardianship was approved of due to the concerns of Wells Fargo, coupled with the concerns of her friends and family, who acted out in desperation to plead for the assistance of the courts and the intervention of the courts, are now acting as her legal parents. Wendy Williams has no rights due to the fact that she's been deemed legally incompetent. Now, we got to discuss that a little bit too, because there's a difference between colloquially what we all think about when we think of incapacitated and incompetent. But there are legal definitions and legal grounds and definitions for incompetence and incapacitated. So when the lawyer is using the term incapacitated, or even when her doctors are allegedly using the word incapacitated, they mean that in the sense of the status and condition of her health, of her mental, and of her brain. What that doesn't necessarily mean is that she can't speak and she's just some shriveled up prune, you know, withering away in a hospital bed, who doesn't know her right from her left and who doesn't know how to tie her shoes anymore. That's not what that necessarily means. But when it comes to the law, there are legal definitions for words that amongst general society are defined differently. So the everyday usage of the word incompetent, or the everyday usage of the word what's the other word? I just used it. Incompetence and incapacitated have different meanings and have more objective defining in the court of law. And Wendy, due to her FTD, due to her progressive aphasia, due to the fact that she is a drug addict and has struggled and battled with cocaine and alcoholism, according to Wendy, for most of her 20s and most of her 30s, her 40s, her 50s, and now her 60s. She was so in the thralls of her addiction that, once again, she could not even work professionally anymore because her behavior was erratic and her inability to yield to sobriety and to take care of herself was something she was incapable of, leaving her not able to work. And then came the issues going on in her bank account that some struggling, desperate members of her family also jumped in on, that led to this. So Wendy also practically walked right into the guardianship, and we're going to talk about how she practically walked into it, because the courts did give Wendy an opportunity, baby, to decide who her guardian was. Wendy fucked up the thing for herself, ultimately. But let's listen to Tommy.
In ways we could support and support Wendy. We've asked about it here, I know, and I definitely didn't want to make any moves prior, too soon. But now it seems like everybody's on board once again, and it's nice because, something that's always initiated by Wendy, and that's the way it should be. Unfortunately, I do have my feelings about, how and what and what's going on, but it seems that, we're always led in the right direction.
To be honest, I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but you said that TMZ lawyer Harvey Levine. Harvey Levine, it can be an intelligent person, a competent lawyer. You're not a medical doctor. And that's just the reality of it. And this is the thing that social media just refuses to actually have some common sense about. All of that wellness you all been hearing has been the result of the Guardianship's regimented lifestyle for Wendy Williams, who's now in a 24, 48 hour round the clock care facility, in a memory care facility where she's getting the meds like she's supposed to get. She's getting the regimen she needs to get in her diet, etc. She has access to doctors and nurses. She's getting the things that she needs. So this is why she's well. This is why she's vital. These are the fruits of the Guardianship's intervention and her being in a memory care facility. So she's supposed to, thank God, have some lucidity and be as closely back to herself as possible. Okay? That is not happening. And what you guys are hearing is not Wendy on her own and at home and sounds this well. She sounds this well, like Jason Lee said in an interview. This is the best, though, I've heard you sound in a long time. Yeah, and the long time he's talking about is the last time we heard from her in a documentary and her life prior. Wendy was a mess. Her aphasia was exacerbating, which is why there was erratic behavior and shit on her shows. Fans were noticing that she was getting stuck. She was having these long pauses. She would kind of ramble off of subject. Her producers had to keep getting her back on track, back on track, back on track, back on track, back on track. So all this clarity, all this consistency in speaking and being able to form her thoughts is due to the strict medical and dietary regimen that has been reinforced due to the intervention of the Guardianship. So, I know, some people may find, they may struggle with that. They may struggle with giving the Guardianship, its roses, or giving the Guardianship its props where it is getting this thing right at. But like we all agree that it's not a perfect system. The circumstances aren't ideal, but the focus for the Guardianship is to ensure Wendy's actual health. They are not her therapists. They are her doctors at this point. And their focus is on treating hypothyroidism, Graves' disease, progressive aphasia, and frontotemporal dementia, and also treating her addiction. That's what their focus is. Their focus is not on her emotional needs or her spiritual needs, but on making sure that her body is bodying, that her brain is braining, which is why she was capable of being on the press tour she was on, and why she's calling people like Charlamagne 5 times a day for 2 weeks, every day, all goddamn day. And if she calling Charlamagne 5 times a day, like he said, for 2 weeks at a time, and also got the wherewithal to be speaking to her niece and her brother, who also is on the phone with her almost daily, and talking to, attorneys and other celebrities and persons, etc., then once again, all of that lucidity is the product of the Guardianship's regiment for her, which is something she did not have access to prior to the Guardianship. Because as the family said, as Wendy is basically going to say, As DJ Booth, her show producer, runner, and musician said, Wendy was out of control. And she literally wanted yes men around her and said it would cost her. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
And so I always stand firm on being able to be thankful for that. And if I need to go back and redo or make some corrections along the way, I'll do that as well. I'm not far from I'm not too big and bold to go back and say, maybe we should have done this that way, or maybe I was wrong, or whatever have you. And I would like to say one thing, Charlamagne, because I know.
Now you better watch your energy. I don't know, like, what the fuck this illegal immigrant ass name you have on the screen, Miss Silatita Lopez, honey. But keep it cute, bitch, okay? Because right now I'm in a good spirit, okay? Right now I'm not in block energy, okay? Speaking about ignorant, you go talk to the ignorant bitch who was addicted through her whole career, okay? You go speak to the ignorant bitch who was found unresponsive in her apartment and had to have several blood transfusions. You speak to the ignorant bitch who knew she was being cheated on by a bunch of other raggedy ass bitches, allowing her husband to have multiple affairs on her, ultimately culminating in a out of wedlock baby that led to her finally filing for divorce while she was willing to put her sexual health on the line throughout all of that time. You go talk to that bitch, okay? You go talk to the ignorant bitch who got her big ass elephant Titus foot up into a TMZ screen. Baby, don't make me allow Wendy Williams to catch strays on behalf of your idiocy. Okay? You go talk to the ignorant bitch who did all that hoopla over P. Diddy, tried to get his ass locked up, tried to take evidence to the feds and to the police, only to turn her ass around and interview him and shuck and jive with his ass on her Wendy Williams show. You make that soul-selling Illuminati shit make sense, okay? Baby, don't get Wendy dragged as a result, baby, of me putting this motherfucking foot on your neck, bitch. Okay? So calm down, girl, and go cry aloud and hashtag Wendy. And how about you get on the phone, girl, with Harvey Weinstein, of Steve Harvey, or Steve Madden, or whoever the hell you need to get in contact with, baby. And y'all go do something substantive with Wendy while she hanging upside down in a hospital room eating carrots all day. Okay? Because, baby, being up over here pressed ain't helping your good sis, baby. Okay? Being over here upset, baby, because she fucked around and found out that she was not going to be able to live as a crackhead her whole life. Okay? Because she fucked around and found out that she was not going to be able to live and exist as an alcoholic her whole life. Okay? You go take up your frustration with her. Okay? Because her lack of self-care and her low self-esteem and her unresolved trauma and unhealthy codependencies have led to her being in a scooter and fucking around and finding out. All right? Now, I ain't come here to do this to Wendy. Okay, baby. So, I'm just here, baby. I just came to dance for y'all. I just came to dance for y'all, girl, okay? But if you want that, I got that for you, honey. You just let me know, honey, if you need all that. If you need all that, baby, I'm going to make sure that Wendy pays the cost for it, okay? Because that's where my foot gonna go. Now, moving along.
This will touch Charlamagne's ears. I'd like to say thanks. I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you for, providing Wendy with a platform. I've had time to think, look, learn, and thanks. Thank you for fostering and putting together conversations with individuals to allow Wendy to speak with them.
Yeah, baby, I have seen it. I have definitely seen that. Lamera. No, hold on. Who put it in there? Hold on, let me see. I just saw a comment. about Britney Spears. Yes, Lamero says, CTV, you saw Britney Spears speaking in a baby voice claiming she is turning 5 and not 43 and she ran to Mexico? Absolutely. And that's exactly why, baby, I'm here for the facts. Okay, girl, I am here for the facts of it all, baby, because see, I saw what y'all did for Britney, and now 90% of those people who were hashtagging free Britney, baby, are hashtagging lock her ass back up, baby, are hashtagging the conservatorship handlers for Britney ass, baby. She out here thinking she 5 years old. She around here all sliced up from them butcher knives. She be doing that boom cat choreography with. She done damn near burnt down her goddamn kitchen with her damn dogs in it, baby. She done lost her goddamn husband. Her marriage done goddamn collapsed, baby. She done lost her motherfucking mind, baby. Okay, and now the same crowd of people, baby, who was ready to champion behind some shit they did not understand, had no true nuanced insight into, girl, are turning around, baby, inboxing and DMing the conservatorship gods, baby, for a nasty piece of intervention. So what y'all not about to do is sucker me, baby, into, you know, pledging my allegiance to either side, baby. I'm just here to dance for the data. I'm just here to dance for the truth, baby. I ain't here to claim that I know what the hell should really happen, considering that we saw the mess of Wendy Williams' life prior to guardianship intervention. And it's ironic to me that everybody is saying she sounds the best she's ever sounded, but failed to also remember that you are saying that based upon Wendy's attempt to take care of herself, which ultimately failed her and led to all of this. So it's clear that the conservatorship is not doing a bad of a job. They do need to loosen some restrictions as it relates to her having proximity to her family. But I'm not going to rule out, baby, that she definitely needs a regimented lifestyle, and that regimented lifestyle is doing her body good. All right. Now, if they want further relationship and want her emotional needs met, in the words of Tommy, this is where the family gonna have to straighten the fuck up. It's on them to straighten up.
For them to get the story out as well. Thank you, Charlamagne. I appreciate you, and the family appreciates you, your support.
If Salatala Lopez need help, baby, give Miss Lopez, the illegal, undocumented immigrant who is in this chat, give her, you know, her 24 hours on Block Nation, baby. Give her 24 hours, okay, to go talk to ISIS, to go talk to the immigration courts about her status in the country, okay? Help her out if she needs a scooter. Okay, she may not need to be blocked. She just may need to be timed out so she can go correspond with ISIS and make sure that she's going to be here after the 20th. All right? So if Miss Okoya Linda Lopez, the undocumented illegal Mexican in the chat, needs a sit down, do not be afraid to give her 24 hours in her electric scooter. Y'all don't got to put up with these kind of people, baby. Don't block them, but you can definitely suppress them and give them an opportunity to exhale. All right, so here it is. We just saw.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, folks.
And listen to Tommy. Baby. Tommy, pull up, sis. And y'all, please get him this video. I might even fuck around and reach out to him to talk to him, girl. Tommy, baby. Tommy Williams, girl. You were initially on the right track. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, right now, I feel like, you know, the power of pussy is prevailing. Okay? And you folding like a clitoris. I need you to be a man. I need you to maintain your kahunas. Okay, I need your nuts to be as strong as the civil rights protest. Okay, baby, I need your nuts to be as strong as the MLK March, sugar. Don't let the power of people who don't know what the hell going on behind the scenes overwhelm you and get you to start switching up your narrative. Simply because it's more of them than there is of you. Okay? If you got to turn that comment section off, baby, and say what you got to say without no feedback, because it's quiet, ain't no back talk, then that's what you need to do. If you gotta just do pre-recorded material, baby, if you gotta shut down the live stream when you live, if you gotta conceal and suppress that motherfucking comment section, baby, because there ain't gonna be no back talk, do what you gotta do. Because you the only one talking some real motherfucking sense and have provided some sound, wise feedback to your family, who Wendy, according to you, agrees y'all all dropped the ball when she came down there for that visit. Okay? Charlamagne doing his job as a clout-chasing commentator should not have you conflate the situation at hand. Because Wendy now raising $20,000 over a 2-day period on GoFundMe, which, let me make mention of this, baby. I have seen less famous people gross almost $500,000, $250,000 in a 48-hour period. So while these broke ass EBT zero balance ass bitches in the chat are talking about hashtag free Wendy, you need to be going over there and hashtagging some damn money to that goddamn change.org GoFundMe.com link. Because she should be well beyond $20,000, as many people claim to love her and as many people claim to miss their queen. And I don't know why the hell Charlamagne nor Don Lemon nor Jason Lee haven't contributed at least a single million to this GoFundMe to assist in the needs of the family. Where is the coin for Wendy? Where is the money for Wendy? What the hell Wendy gonna do with $20,000, baby, when she's spending $100,000 on Uber Eats? $20,000 is a damn $20 bill. What $20,000 supposed to do? But yet it's all this noise. It's all this hoopla. It's all this yabba dabba do. But I ain't seeing no fruit. I ain't seeing no weight, baby. Okay, it's wide, but the yabba dabba doing ain't got no weight on it, bitch. I'm gonna need to see that ass be turned into a BBL. I'm gonna need to see that energy. I'm gonna need to see them hashtags, baby, be turned into a whole verb. Because the barking is mighty motherfucking loud and mighty motherfucking wide, but it ain't got no motherfucking weight on it right now. And I'm just trying to make it make motherfucking sense. Because see, bitch, I ain't the one out here talking about set her ass loose. I ain't the one out here talking about, baby, take her ass off the leash, bitch. See, so that ain't my burden, baby. That's what some of these folk out here doing, baby. So now, once again, that there's an opportunity that's been presented for folk to get up in this thing and to do something substantive. All folk want to do is sit in comment sections and talk shit, but nobody want to do the real work for Wendy to help her get out of a situation that she crying aloud is so miserable for her. So when you want to be over here upset, girl, that I'm running down the tea and running down the information, and because I'm not an emotionally driven commentator, because there's too many facts to lean on instead of leaning on feelings, you could be having your ass over there on that change.org petition and have your ass over there on that GoFundMe, getting her ass from off the 2700th floor of this high-rise old folks facility that her motherfucking ass is in, living like a goddamn vampire. Okay? She said she want to return home so she can eat birthday cake, drink liquor, and breastfeed her Siamese twin cats. So where is the coin, baby, to let her ass jump off the leash? Where is the coin, girl, to put her ass on the elevator? Where is it? Where is it? So, Tommy, back to you, sis. They call you a narcissist and all this, baby. This is when I need your narcissism, girl, to rev up. Okay? The people say you're a narcissist, baby. The people say that you're full of yourself. You're arrogant, girl. This is when I need your bravado to be bravading. Because your family absolutely needs to be playing chess if they mean what they say they mean. If they really want for Wendy what they claim they want for Wendy. They can't be down there all drinking and partying and making it look like Wendy is and has spent 9 days in a goddamn trap house. They got to straighten that shit up, because right now there's only one bitch and one bitch only who's in control, and her name is Sabrina Morrissey. And if she don't like what the fuck it feels like and what it looks like, guess what? Wendy will be FaceTiming from the 2700th floor of the high-rise old folks' home instead of actually being face-to-face and being able to kiss her son and her dad and enjoy her family. So do not pucker up right now, Williams. Don't pucker up right now, Tommy. Give your motherfucking family the work. Fight for her. Don't let the fact that you being outweighed as a person who talking wisdom and giving much necessary constructive feedback to the situation, don't let them hoes discourage you. Don't let Alex discourage you, baby. Don't let these out-of-touch ass fans, so-called fans, girl, who still got Wendy Williams GoFundMe sitting at $20,000 goddamn dollars, when we don't raise more than that for people in a single hour on a YouTube channel. Don't let these folk, baby, hype you up with their falsities. Stick to the T, stick to the truth. You the one on the inside of the situation, and you said what the fuck you said, and you mean what the fuck you mean, because at the end of the day, Charlamagne got more resources than just a goddamn platform to extend to Wendy. The fact that Charlamagne ain't been in relationship to Alex this whole time. The fact that Jason Lee ain't been in relationship to Alex this whole time. Yes, Wendy has not been accessible, but all y'all have been. All y'all have been. And these famous friends of hers who claim to love her and now all of a sudden trying to champion behind some shit because Wendy is able to call, baby, again. She's able to ring the line. They've been sitting quiet. They ain't sending no letter. They ain't sent no private investigators to come find y'all asses. They ain't taken to their platform over the past few years to say, hey, can somebody get me on the motherfucking line with Tommy? Tell him Jason looking for him, baby. Tell him Charlamagne looking for him, bitch. We got family court attorneys. We got motherfucking money. We got judges who want to get involved in this thing. Tell the motherfucking family. Tell Alex ass to pull up. We got resources, baby. We Santa Claus in this motherfucker. Reindeer is on the rooftop. We ready to come down the chimney. But that ain't been the energy. That ain't been the energy. So, Tommy, you called it out, boo. You said what needed to be said, girl. You stood on motherfucking business, girl. Now, you already bald in the head. Don't let these people bald your eyebrows. Don't let them ball your eyelashes. You know what the fuck is going on. You got seeing eyes. Okay? Don't let these blind motherfuckers put enough pressure on you to make you comply because you saying what need to be said. And I have a lot of respect for black sheep people like Tommy. I have a lot of respect for people who don't get vacuumed into the hoopla and the blah, 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 baby, and can understand the motherfucking assignment. Because the people who can understand the assignment oftentimes are the minority. A bunch of emotionally irrational, emotionally driven, out-of-touch ass individuals. That's how black sheeps become black sheeps, baby. They got too much sense to be as dumb and as out of touch and as out of sync as everybody else is. Gather the girls, Tommy. All right? Y'all get this video to Miss Tommy Williams. He ain't got to pull up. He ain't got to drop down. He ain't got to do an interview, baby. But he needs to get this Sermon on the Mount. Because, baby, Tommy, I know you had on your little Rastafarian gear. You had on your little MLK hat, baby. Bitch, you better be rebuking and binding these principalities and these demonic forces, baby, who are encouraging you and trying to pressure you to cower the fuck down. Baby, you need much spiritual intercession right now, baby, because y'all battling wickedness in the highest places of New York's criminal justice system, of New York's family courts. There are many agendas at hand, from her out of touch ass fans to her weak ass egoic family members. Okay, so stand on business. Pray to your Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter to keep you strong. Okay, so let's move along, y'all. Wendy. Remember when I said Wendy walked right into this motherfucking shit? Because after Wells Fargo initiated a financial guardianship, which was then turned into a full guardianship due to Wendy not being able to overcome her substance abuse, not able to get the proper treatment for her diseases, her struggling in her professional life, in her everyday life, and then a lot of her relatives and production members jumped on the bandwagon as well, which is why Wells Fargo went to seal the records to protect the identities of the information provided to them by members of Wendy Williams' camp. Well, the guardianship program gave Wendy an opportunity, baby, to decide if she wanted her family. Right. 475 people donated, but thousands of views on these interviews. Thousands of comments underneath those interviews. And yet only 475 measly motherfucking people tried to stand on business with what they got in their pocket in this crashed out ass economy. But yet everybody is so loud, baby. But ain't nobody putting in the mother loving work. Ain't nobody putting in the work. All right. Well, Wendy was given the opportunity. Her sister, and I'm scared to play this girl because I don't know if A&E gonna flat the fuck out of this thing, baby. They already done took you down off Amazon Prime, girl. Because I was surely about to get back into that 4-part documentary. But I want you guys to hear from Wanda, who did show up in part 4 of Where is Wendy Williams Now? This is courtesy of TikTok, which is about to be dead in 2 days. So farewell, and may TikTok rest in goddamn peace, baby. If y'all, all that Illuminati conspiratorial ass content that y'all enjoyed over TikTok, baby, y'all better have a screen recorded all that shit, baby, because y'all know TikTok about to have a tombstone on top of it, right? Baby, y'all bet have done y'all fair share, baby, a screen grabbing every goddamn thing, baby. Because TikTok is going under like the damn submersible Titan grip. All right, courtesy of fair use, this is a TikTok video that stripped a excerpt from the Where is Wendy Williams Now docu-series, where Wanda comes in and talks about stepping up as a guardian for Wendy.
Capable of taking care of her. It made it sound like you guys weren't capable of taking care of her. Set the record straight with me. Is that the case?
I don't know what not capable means. You had people in the family from the beginning saying that we would take responsibility with regard to guardianship and personal needs to ensure that she was healthy and taken care of. I'm not talking about her money. You put money over here. There are people in this family that care more about the well-being of my sister than anyone. When the whole
Okay, so I'll go once again, baby. I don't want to play too much of that, bitch, because I don't know how the copyright gods are set up around all that. And I don't need no goddamn problems, baby, okay? But that's that's Wanda, Wendy's sister, who, yes, is a attorney. She's actually the attorney that Wendy's needs. A lot of her work is in the family court. She helps children, the homeless, the disabled. These are her areas of expertise as a attorney in New York. So there was really nobody more ideal than Wanda. There was nobody more ideal than Wanda, who you guys now just heard say she stepped up. She wanted to be the guardian, and then kaboom. Shit just didn't happen, and she don't know what the fuck happened. You know what the fuck happened? This goddamn happened. Wendy accidentally sabotaged her whole goddamn situation. This is a quote from the docuseries right out of Wendy's own mouth, courtesy of the HollywoodReporter.com page. Check out this shit right here in blue. Though Wanda doesn't appear on screen until part 4 of the documentary series. Wendy Williams, who is an executive producer of the project, makes mention of her sister in episode 1, which aired February 24th when asked about rumors that she's still battling substance abuse issues. Wendy Williams tells producers, and I quote, "I love vodka, and the problem with Wanda, my sister, I love her, is that she hates that I love alcohol." So then, when all this shit was going on in the courts, right, and they were going over if there was any competent members in her family that could overcome or help her with this situation, you know what Wendy also told the courts? Because Wendy was so incapacitated that she literally did not understand that she didn't make the differentiation between Wendy the personality and when it was time to be Wendy the woman who is under duress and needs to be very intentional about what the fuck she says. She told the goddamn court that she didn't want her sister to be her guardian because her sister did not want her to drink. Once again, Wendy Williams could not have sealed her fate any more than what she did by not only running her ass around to producers, but then running around her ass to her lawyers and to the courts, telling them that she didn't want her sister, who is an attorney, who loves her, who was willing to not be a yes man to her, didn't want her to be a guardian. Now, then her son is being accused of financially exploiting her. We're going to get to him in a minute too. And then her husband is preying on her wealth. Okay, so now you can conceive of how this must start to look to the court like, you know what, girl, it's too many shady ass fucking characters. Because not only is her son being accused by the financial advisors, as well as other members of the family accusing the family of being exploitive. Once again, Wells Fargo, they sealed all them records in order to protect those people's identities and the tea they were provided. So now it looks like, yeah, it's too many shady people going on. Wendy, money is being attacked in too many different directions. We got a woman who we're asking to clarify her position, basically admit she would rather be an addict while her competence is already being investigated and rather she can make sound decisions. And she's admitting to us that she wants to continue to indulge in liquor and only wants to surround herself with people who are going to encourage her badass behavior, which is why, once again, she's in this situation by itself. Not only is her husband preying on her at this time with all these divorce proceedings and money issues and alimony and spousal support and this, that, and the third, but now her son is not on her son is also being accused of financially exploiting her, but her son also is on drugs. The same son that the financial advisor believed and was under the impression was exploiting Wendy. This made the family look horrendous because there were too many bad behaving people even in the family, aka her ex-husband, aka this narrative around the son, but the fact that he also battled drugs himself. And then you got Wendy Williams saying she don't want nobody guarding her ass, that won't let her kill herself, that won't let her drink and cocaine herself into the damn grave. Of course, that looks completely incompetent and incapacitated. And the courts decided, you know what? We're going to appoint our own people who can't be brought. Because the family and the friends and all of these people seem compromisable. It's too many weird ass agendas. We can't really sort through this shit. It's too fucking messy in the family. It's too fucking messy. Too fucking messy in her friendship group, because we're going to get to that too, baby. We're going to get to that, baby. Her crew, her community was too messy. So the court said, yeah, we appoint our own people, baby. And that's what it's been since. Wendy Williams recalls being horrified by son's drug usage. Wendy Williams not only was a drug addict herself, but her son also struggled with drug use. When Kevin Hunter Jr. was about 14 years old, he was exposed to ketamine, aka synthetic marijuana. Quote, our son 3 years ago, he's 17 now, he's just graduated from high school, he's leaving for college in September, but 3 years ago, he smoked ketamine. Williams told 54 told ET, now this is a drug. We see it on the news. People are walking around like zombies. Her son's exposure to drugs transformed him into someone she didn't even recognize. Quote, I was horrified. My son became someone I didn't even know, she shared, adding that she noticed changes in him immediately. It zaps your brain immediately. She added, drugs have no income. Drugs have no race or religion. Drugs are drugs. And the ketamine was really something else. And, you know, I'm glad to say we were able to bring him back all the way around. The daytime talk show host also opened up about her decade-long battle with cocaine, which she developed during her years on radio. Quote, I was a functioning addict, though, Williams told ET. I report to work on time and I walk in and all my coworkers, including my bosses, would know. But since I would have my headphones on and walk in the studio and they wouldn't fire me because I was making fucking ratings. Now we're talking about the enabling. Once again, all these fucking agendas everywhere. Now your son being accused of financially exploiting you, who also has battled drug addiction. He also was in and out of rehab. But now you're trying to present him as the power of attorney after your account had been flagged. Of course, the court said hell no to your son. Not only is he young, he's a young man. He doesn't even have the qualifications to be your power of attorney, but he's also a sketchy individual considering upon reasonable suspicion of Wells Fargo that he is one of the people allegedly exploiting you. Your own competence is being questioned. You both allegedly have been drug users. It's ketamine. Yes, that's what it's called, K2. And now you have in Williams, who once again suffering from alcoholism, cocaine addiction, has a neurological disease induced by alcoholism, talked about how the radio and commercial entertainment industry she worked in is taking advantage. Or not taking advantage, more say. They have their own agenda, baby. Okay, they see no evil, they hear no evil. Long as she is able to come up in this bitch and function and do her job, we don't give a damn. And probably, baby, the higher her ass is and the drunker her ass is, the better the rating's gonna be, because she's gonna be able to show her ass. She's gonna be able to act the goddamn fool, baby, spill all the goddamn secrets, be with all the goddamn shits, because the drugs are allowing her to not have any inhibition. Yeah, ketamine is a very fucked up drug. So it's interesting, right? That she's talking about how, you know, the industry basically, as long as things seem to be functional, that they may know you do what you do. This may be a well-kept, open industry secret, baby, and everybody in the room knows that you a cokehead, a crackhead, that you a pill popper, that you out of control, that you a maniac. But if you can be high functioning, as Wendy Williams said, everything can be all right. It's interesting that the same thing was accused of some members of her production team for the Wendy Williams show. Check out this. I read this in part 1. I want to go over it again. The concerns over Wendy Williams' behavior even reached DJ Booth, the show's former DJ, after someone referenced him in an Instagram comment about the show. After one fan wrote about her needing help and accusing her of being back on drugs, another commented that she ignored people's pleas to take her health and sobriety seriously, and speculated that that's what led to the DJ's departure from the show. DJ Booth then wrote beneath the post, yep, exactly. And it will all come out. Y'all have no idea what's really going on. And everyone there is afraid to speak up. Talking about everybody at the Wendy Williams show, etc. Everyone there is afraid to speak up because they don't want to lose their jobs. This is going to play out bad. I feel sorry for the workers and victims. Okay, and this is his comment courtesy of the Jasmine brand from his verified account. Okay, so bring it back to the guardianship. The people who are not a yes man in her camp, like Wanda and other individuals, DJ Booth, he's the one who also found her in her apartment unresponsive back in 2020 when he came over for a wellness check because they hadn't heard from her all day, where she had to be transported and brought back to life and had to endure several blood transfusions due to her drinking herself into a literal coma. Her yes men were enabling this behavior while her no men were crying aloud. So when the courts got involved, and then all these people who rushed in to speak with Wells Fargo and to divulge that, yes, she needs protection. She is probably in the last leg of her life. She's probably going to die if there's no intervention. We need motherfucking help. DJ Booth could have been one of those people who could have whistleblowed to Wells Fargo. Tommy, like I said, the brother could have been. Hell, for all I know, Wanda could have been. Y'all asking where the hell Wanda at, baby? Maybe Wanda ain't nowhere to be found because, baby, if she had to weigh the options of, at this point, considering all that we all now know, including what the family now knows about everything, might secretly stand in solidarity with the intervention of the guardianship program. It ain't perfect, but since Wendy can't care for herself and there's too many people shady around her and it's not clear what anybody's intentions are when you have somebody this wealthy in the center of everyone, she probably agrees that, hell, at the very least, the guardianship program is not perfect, but at least my sister is literally getting the help that she fucking needs. That allows her to be alive. Alive, it allows her to be as well as possible. And yes, it's not perfect. She missed her family. But at the same time, there's some criticism that need to be had on the family's part because they're acting a goddamn fool. Too many people felt Wendy on top of Wendy felling Wendy. Wendy felt Wendy, and a large chunk of her community felt Wendy. Check out this. Wendy Williams show producers refused to help her with her addiction. Wendy Williams' ex-husband claims that producers of the Wendy Williams show would not sign off on agreeing to get the Eponious talk show host help to aid in her recovery from addiction issues. Kevin Hunter tells Page 6 exclusively that Demar Mercury did not want to engage in any activity that would take Williams away from her iconic purple chair. Quote, Demar would not support Wendy's recovery efforts with the family. Hunter says they would not sign off on anything that would have helped her recovery efforts. Okay? Once again, the people that really cared about Wendy, the people that were her no men, the people that wanted what was truly best for her, they were forced to be brought to such desperation because everybody else was in it for self-gain. Everybody else was aiding and abetting and enabling. And then y'all saw from the documentary itself how narcissistic and controlling Wendy Williams is, and she would really bully your motherfucking ass into giving her what she wants. The people in her life who would care for her were forced to beg the courts. They were forced to seek opportunity in this Wells Fargo situation with the financial guardianship to also have their voices heard to the judge. And once again, I don't believe that they really knew what they were getting themselves into. And to be honest, I don't know if it would have made a difference if they would have even known what they were getting themselves into by assisting Wells Fargo and taking their opportunity to be heard as well. That led to a full guardianship situation, coupled with the fact that Wendy doubled down in admitting that she did not want anybody around her or in control of her estate and in control of her autonomy that would not allow her to abuse herself through substance abuse. I'm not sure if the family would have even cared, because at that point it was do or die. At that point it was life or death. Now, right, this is the shadiness of Kevin Hunter, right? Like acting like he's advocating, but two things can be true at once. Kevin can be a shady player who just as opportunistic as the Wendy Williams showrunners and executive producers, and yet be telling the truth, because oftentimes, baby, like attracts like. Wendy was a clout chaser. Kevin Hunter is money hungry. And of course, these network producers, they out for the dollar bill as well. So you got a bunch of opportunistic people who willing to play ball with each other until somebody not getting what they want, and then somebody gonna try to tap out as the hero and make everybody else look bad when they were just as much a part of the shit show and the bullshit as everybody else was in the situation. So two things can be true at once. He can be full of shit. He definitely is a user. He never respected or loved Wendy. He cheated on her throughout the whole relationship. We pulled up articles of Wendy in interviews saying that she's dealt with infidelity almost from the beginning of their marriage. And there's multiple women outside of Hudson. Hudson just happens to be the woman that got pregnant and with child. Yep, that's Hollywood for you. It's capitalistically driven. It's mechanical. It's masculine. It's left brain. It's about the moolah and the coin of it all and the ascension of it all. It's not about your soul. It's not about your emotional and spiritual needs. And Wendy admitted to that when she spoke in the article that we read prior to this about her days in radio, where she was a whole cokehead and everybody in her workspace knew it, but because she was high functioning and she was able to do her job and do her job well, everybody act like they saw no evil, they knew no evil. And Wendy didn't want no help. So even if she would have been a part of a system, whether it been in her radio days or whether it was in her Wendy Williams show days, even if she would have been around people that wanted her to straighten up, willing to pressure her into getting the help she need, she would have pushed back. Good night, Ray. She would have pushed the fuck back. She wanted yes men. She pushed against her own sister being her guardian. Need I remind you? Though Wanda appeared on screen until part 4 of the documentary, Wendy Williams, who was an executive producer of the project, makes mention of her sister in episode 1. When asked about rumors that she's still battling drug addiction, Wendy tells producers, I love vodka, and the problem is with Wanda, she's my sister. I love Wanda, but she hates that I love alcohol. And rightfully so. Anybody who fucking love you should hate cocaine, should hate alcohol, should hate whatever other substances you are abusing that's costing you your damn life and your damn stability and your damn legacy. Not only did Wanda hate alcohol, Wendy hated Wanda for hating alcohol. Wendy was not going to allow anybody in her life who was qualified to be her guardian if they were not willing to be an enabler. Essentially, it defaulted and forced the court's hands to assign their own fucking people, with Wendy playing right into the damn narrative herself by her own admissions. So when I say that, once again, this is a very convoluted situation. It's a lot of moving parts, despite what it looks like, because of people's failed but forced attempt to like simplify the situation to make it look like, once again, it's just one powerful New York institution against this black woman and her black family. That's not what's happening here at all. And the court records prove that. What we are publicly aware of proves that about Wendy's struggle prior to guardianship. People have spoken out, including her husband, her ex-husband, DJ Booth, her sister Wanda, her brother Tommy. Wendy's community was made up of three types of people. The enablers, who were indifferent and who were going to sit back and do nothing no matter what happened. The enablers who were going to actually feed into the problems. And then the people who were against all the bullshit. And the more you were against the bullshit, the more distant Wendy became. The more distant Wendy became. She did not want help, and it forced the courts through the financial guardianship petition initiated by Wells Fargo to become her legal parents. You missed everything, Jonathan. I forgot to send you the goddamn link, Jonathan. I said, I'm missing something. I said, I'm missing something. Jonathan, your ass is what was missing. I said, something missing. I'm supposed to do something. We just spoke about the son being addicted to ketamine when he was a teenager and it changing who the fuck he was, making him practically unrecognizable to Wendy, and how that was like culminated with the fact that he was accused of financially exploiting her after this petition got started, definitely rendering his ass as disqualified. He was already too young to be her power of attorney anyway. There are a few qualifications you do need to be power of attorney. Age does play a major factor. And with him already being villainized in the situation, coupled with the fact that he has battled drug addiction himself, he didn't have a shot. But the process was already initiated, so she wouldn't have been able to even get a competent, qualified POA in the building. Hey, Andrew. This, unfortunately, is a very complicated situation. But rather than spend our time trying to villainize the guardianship program, which once again has a... Oh, let me say this about the Hollywood Unlocked. Yes, Hollywood Unlocked. I listened to the Hollywood Unlocked interview like I said I was. It wasn't no new information. Like, she did the same interview in 3 different places. What's interesting to me, right, is that there's this like conversation around, oh, Wendy doesn't recognize the pills. And we had just discussed this whole pill thing even in the last live when we had Jonathan here. I'm gonna drop the link too. When Jonathan was here. Oh, she doesn't recognize the pills, 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 the pills. You know, Wendy, oh, I only recognize what the 2 pills I've been taking my whole life. Yeah, girl. What's interesting is that nobody recognized that she established a timeline. The 2 pills she do recognize are the 2 pills she's been on for as long as Jesus has been resurrected and at the right hand of the Father. So then what you can extract if you are actually listening, and this is the problem with social media. People don't fucking listen. They only listen to what's said. They don't listen to what's not said. And there's just as much information in what's not being said as there is in what is being said. When she said the only 2 pills I recognize are the ones that I have been on since the beginning of time. Right, Wendy. Because baby, what you are intentionally or either unintentionally leaving out of the conversation is the fact that since those 2 pills that you might have been taking for, I don't know, hypertension, high blood, I don't know what the fuck the 2 pills are, is that, remember, baby, you develop over the last 2-3 years hypothyroidism. You developed progressive aphasia. You develop frontal temporal dementia, which was induced by your alcoholism. And because you're in a regimented environment, you are also obviously being given drugs that help you to combat your actual addiction, that help you to control your urges, that help you to deal with the way you have now redesigned your body and redesigned your brain as a result of addiction, because addiction isn't just about impulse. When you have a long-term addiction, particularly of alcohol, you are literally redesigning the biology of your body to the point that, like in Amy Winehouse case, trying to get off alcohol can kill you, because that's how now much you have redesigned your physiological, biological body, and how now profoundly codependent your system is on the use of that alcohol. And if you try to just go cold turkey, you can fuck around and die as a result of improperly recovering, of improperly trying to initiate sobriety. Todd, if you want to come up, I dropped the link, boo. So, of course, baby, you own several additional pills, sugar. Of course, baby, you are no longer on just the 2 pills you were on prior to the development of hypothyroidism, progressive aphasia, dementia, and now the medical assistance your body needs because of your codependency on alcoholism that's treating your addiction, girl. Of course, you aren't just on 2 different pills. And I don't know whether Wendy is intentionally like leaving all of that out because she still suffers from a degree of denial, which is why she's even in this situation to begin with. Wendy was never able to come full term with the fact that she's an addict and her addiction has fucked up her life, and that she is a woman who will always need help. She seems to kind of be like very interested in intentionally, you know, moving around from that. Oh, y'all, I'm probably gonna be wrapping up, so I ain't gonna even be here that much longer. So I will catch y'all if y'all don't make it up in time. I will catch y'all in the next live. You know, she seems to be intentional, but you know, the intentionality is either she's being intentional about just like overlooking all of that, or that's the result of her frontal temporal dementia. Is that her medication has been explained to her 1,000 times, baby. Just like possibly her cats have been explained to her exactly where they were. She might have even agreed to give them away. These are things that either Wendy Williams genuinely do not remember, or she's intentionally, like, she doesn't remember due to her cognitive issues. And once again, you talk to somebody who took care of a grandfather who had the same condition until he passed away. He had the same condition that Bruce Willis and Wendy Williams had, FTD. which is a degenerating neurological disease that eventually shuts down all of the main organs of your body when it becomes full-time Alzheimer's. And the only advancements that medicine have right now is to slow down this disease, but they cannot stop it. There are certain things that can mitigate the acceleration of it, such as regimented, round-the-clock care with the proper medicines on time, as they should be. People having access to their things, their relatives. These have found to be important to the longevity of people who are diagnosed with dementia, which is why it is important for Wendy to have a phone. It's important for her to be able to call. It's important for her to be able to see her family. However, the problem with that is that that's going to be largely determined now based upon whether the family can do their part. Because if they pose as a risk to her well-being, her ass will have limited interaction, irregardless of how the fuck she feels about it. So her family, like her brother said, are going to have to really step up and show themselves to be concrete, because this is an optic game. Going through it right now in our family. It is horrific. Yep, I took care of my grandfather hand and foot. Had to wash his ass, had to wipe his ass, cook for him, clean for him, administer his medications to him daily, had to be with him at every doctor's appointment. Hand and foot. He needed round-the-clock care. This is what the facility allows for Wendy. And like Wendy, my grandfather, in the thralls of his FTD, he had bouts of lucidity. Sometimes you would think, oh my God, like granddaddy did so good today. He's cognitive, he's lucid. His memory recall is good. He happy. He, his personality back. And then there were days where he was just out of control. Out of control. And ironically, his neighbor, because him and my grandmother, the home that we kept him in and cared for him in was my mom's childhood home. And this was my grandparents' first home in terms of the home they brought together. Their neighbor also developed FTD. And let me tell you how scary this was. We knew that family our whole lives. Like the whole community at that time was like a very small community. This was the era of it takes a village to raise a child. It was a very close-knit family. The neighbors neighbored like they should. So we knew this family our whole lives. The matriarch of the family developed FTD probably about several years prior to my grandfather developing FTD himself. Do y'all know that as a result of her husband also attempting to care for her in her home, and keep her around her environment, keep her at her environment, because, once again, research shows that this can be very beneficial and healthy for the longevity of a person suffering from FTD. Do y'all know that this woman, because once again, there's no way to stop it. They can only slow it down. They can't cure it. They can't end it. They can only slow it down. So the end is inevitable. Do y'all know that as this woman was, slowly getting worse, that she ended up taking her husband's life? Because one day he came home from work. She had gotten access to his gun. Because she had FTD, she could not recognize him as her husband. The FTD rendered her incapable of understanding who he was. So she thought he was a stranger breaking into her home and pulled the trigger and killed her husband in cold blood. And because of FTD, she doesn't even know to this day that she killed her husband. She had to attend the funeral and everything, and have no idea that she even has a disease, and that disease unalived her husband. The shit is crazy. Now, I know a lot of y'all are bringing up Bruce Willis. There's a big difference between Bruce Willis and Wendy. When y'all are saying that Bruce, what's the difference? He has FTD, he's with his family, he's not in a conservatorship, he ain't all locked down and living like a goddamn plantation slave. The big difference is, unlike Bruce, Wendy did not have a spouse. When Wendy was deemed incapacitated and incompetent legally, she had no power of attorney at the time. Had this happened when she was married, Kevin Hunter Sr. would have been her power of attorney. Bruce Willis was married at the time that he came down with FTD. His wife was his power of attorney. And unlike in Wendy's case, there were no discrepancies as it related to his wealth and his money. So there was also not anything happening and being initiated to position an investigation into whether he needed a state-appointed guardianship. Because his wife is his power of attorney, that's who made the decisions as it relates to what happens to Bruce due to his diagnosis. Wendy, when she divorced Kevin, he was no longer her power of attorney. It was null and void in their divorce decree. And because she didn't try to appoint a power of attorney, aka her son, until after the fact, she was left to have to face off with the state of New York. So there's a big difference. Wendy and Bruce's situation are completely and utterly different due to the circumstances. Due to the fact that he was married and had a power of attorney, his wife, and Wendy, not having a power of attorney. So all in all, a bizarre set of circumstances. All I can do right now is wish the best for Wendy and her family. I hope that they can straighten up. They need to straighten up on their end. We have a guest. Hey, Todd.
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Awesome. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Are you over there wrapping up paperwork for Wendy on behalf of this guardianship?
No, listen. You have done an excellent job with getting people to understand how all of this stuff works. And I just want to talk about something called methodology. So what you guys are getting right here is what is called a masterclass in inductive and deductive reasoning. And I'm going to say this very quickly, then I'm going to have to go. And I'm going to show y'all the difference between the two and how this pertains to how you're laying this out to where everybody understands it. Deductive reasoning is all of the things that you can deduce based on physical evidence that you see tangible, right? Such as Wendy Williams being on TV, passing out, right? Right? That is tangible. That's in front of our face. Inductive reasoning is all of the things that you have to piece together to come to a conclusion. The way you chronologically go through the articles, interpret everything that's happening, putting it in time order. understanding all of the perspectives. Those things are intangible. And then when you put those two together, my God, it's like a margarita mix, okay? It's palatable, and you can drink it and go, ah, damn. All right? So I'm just telling y'all, please, everybody, give Conscious a round of applause for all of this, because it's not easy and it's not difficult to put this in terms where everybody understands it. And you have done an excellent job. And that's all I wanted to say. This is absolutely incredibly interesting.
Thank you so much for that. Wow, Todd, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. It's very lifting. Thank you.
No, thank you. I just want you to know that we definitely do appreciate all of the work that you do. And like I said before, you put things in very good perspective. And
this is why people are going to sometimes not agree, because of what you said. Because I recognize sometimes why I'm on a different page sometimes in social media. And it's because sometimes they are more emotional about what's happening when I'm really trying to understand the fruit and understand logically and factually what's happening, and to assert like some reasonability.
You know, you're absolutely correct. And the thing is that's missing from a lot of content creators is that they do not know how to research, and they don't know how to use factuals and counterfactuals to make claims and to make it reasonable. You made all of this reasonable, all right? There's a reasonable amount of evidence that you gave to suggest that you are absolutely correct. And to be truthful with you, it's irrefutable. I don't see how anybody can say anything other than what you're saying. I guess
if they stick to their feelings, if they stick to the sensationalism and, aid and abet that with their emotions, then, it's just like, yeah, but freer. yeah, but the guardianship is fucked up. And Todd did say he have to go, y'all. So he working, child. All right. Yeah, I think that there are many. I don't think all of this is evil. Obviously, there are a lot of agendas. Okay, he back. All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. But yeah,
walking in.
But no. I'm not at work. I'm at home.
Okay.
But yeah, man. The methodology is something of beauty. This is almost scholarly. Fuck that. This is scholarly. Okay? All right?
Give me my roses.
To say that it isn't would be disingenuous to you. And this is just the absolute truth. And there's just something that goes to how you research it, how you put inductive and deductive reasoning together to come up with logical conclusions. And it's amazing. It's really amazing. And truth be told, I never really got into the celebrity sector until I saw your channel. And you know what? I think I found a home. Okay.
Nice. I don't think it's hard to believe. But look, I always tell people, celebrity tea, there's a lot of things you can do with celebrity tea, instead of it just being about reporting it per se. Like, there's a lot of conversations, there's a lot of nuance, and then there's a lot of ways to make what's happening relatable and bring it all the way down to things that you and I and everyday people deal with, and conversations that need to be had on a larger scale. Celebrity quote unquote gossip and pop culture definitely, can be multifaceted. And if a person is gifted accordingly, they can really extract a lot from just a celebrity bullshit, which of course can just be simply entertainment based, or you can, unpack it, which leads to conversation about mental health, around systemic issues in the Black community, around things like this with guardianship programs, and it just becomes a whole thing. So it's quite interesting for sure. Okay, before you go, last question. What do you want to see, based upon the way you understand what's happening, the pleas of the family, the strictness of the guardianship, but the results of the guardianship? Like, what makes sense to you in terms of resolve?
I think Wendy needs to stay exactly where she's at, and I would agree with supervised visits. There's got to be handlers with her. Got to be. You cannot allow Wendy to be with the same people that's enabling her because they are her family. Eventually, they're going to pity her, and they're going to say, you know what? This will not hurt if we allow this to happen. And next thing you know, she will spiral more out of control than what she is. I believe she's fine the way she is. If we want to see Wendy for another 15 more years, leave her where she's at.
Now, you see, Todd, everything that you just said was completely just done away with by Kevin. Nobody deserves to be locked away in a nurse home. Y'all wouldn't be saying this if this was your family. Now, where in the hell did anybody on this platform, Todd, including me, say that she deserves to be locked away? Is that what you ever heard me say?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
That over every live stream, I have said I am obviously, as somebody who took care of a Wendy Williams myself, am here for her having relationship and proximity to her family because research proves that that is important. But the question is, she definitely needs to have access to the right people in her life. And unfortunately, the guardianship is in control of deciding who that is. But she absolutely should have proximity to her family, baby. Nobody would argue that.
And then I understand the dynamic between separating her from her money because she can use that money to control the individual that she is placating to. So yes, I agree with you that I understood why they separate her from her money. I understand that, you know? So yes, everything you're saying, Conscious, makes a lot of sense. And you know what? And if they were smart about it, and like we said before, if they want to see Wendy, you know, being here more, you know, seeing Wendy more like she is now, then they would leave her in place. Another thing I would possibly be in favor with, maybe if she can start a YouTube channel under the right conditions, right? So that way she can, you know, because talking for her seems to be therapy. One more thing as well, when it comes to communication, the reason why you see people talk so fast is because they're used to people not listening to them. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get their story out before they are cut off. And that is one of the things I noticed. This is why when she went on the Breakfast Club, she was like, and this is what they're doing, and this is how they're going, and this is what's happening. Because when she tries to say what she feels like is happening to her, people cut her off and say, Wendy, you're not well. Because she's not well. All right. So yes. Yeah, excellent job, Conscious.
I really appreciate that, man. Get back to that paperwork.
Yes, I sure will. All right, hey, everybody, take care. Y'all, please be safe, and much love to everybody and your family members. Thank you, Conscious Crew, for everything. Thank y'all for letting me cook. All right.
You, man.
All right.
Y'all. That was all Todd. Andrew says, I don't think Sabrina should be taken off. Or I think she should be taken off because she's been accused multiple times of financial mismanagement of her conservatorities. Yeah, you know, I don't know why people have been allowed to. Apparently, like, there's a lot of like looseness as it relates to this shit because even the judge in this case has been accused of participating in conflict of interest dynamics. Okay, by receiving campaign donations from law firms and attorneys and then turn around and rewarding those attorneys once they're in office with guardianships. So, and apparently there's no precedence in the law in New York that actually prohibits a judge from doing that. So they can't really cite it as illegal or even unethical, and at best only suspicious. And that's why the New York guardianship program needs a lot of reform. I would also like to see proof that Sabrina in Wendy's case is abusing her financially. However, if she has been factually guilty of these things in the past and in other situations, there should be no reason why she is over anybody's goddamn money and why she's even a guardian to begin with. And once again, this is like the brokenness and raggediness of the whole family court system, the whole criminal justice. It is a fucking mess. I also wanted to say this last piece too. People was like, well, they should allow her to at least, shop online, baby. She's in a room with one window, a big 60-inch smart TV, in her own bathroom. Where in the hell is she supposed to store all this home shopping network shit that some of y'all are saying she should be able to allow to indulge in, baby? Where in the hell is she supposed to put these big ass love sofas and shit she ordering off of the IKEA website, baby? Where's she supposed to be goddamn storing all these goddamn refurbished limousines that she want to give to Kevin Hunter Jr. and shit, baby? Where's she supposed to put all this shit at, sugar? Who exactly is supposed to be assigned to making sure they get down to the lobby of this high-rise old folks home her ass in to make sure that they can sign off on Amazon Prime deliveries and FedEx boxes and UPS and shit, baby? Where exactly, baby, is all this shit supposed to go, baby? I mean, come on now. Y'all, baby, so sometimes y'all just be saying anything out y'all damn mouth, baby. I just like, do you hear what you're saying, baby? Okay, baby, do we need to find you a scooter too? Or no? How is she paying for all that on $15 a month? And then that's another thing, right? People like, oh, she should have her money. I definitely think she could probably do with having way more than $15 at her disposal. But the real reason why it's no need for her to have access to her whole entire fortune is because Wendy is in a memory care living facility. All her needs are met. She gets dinner, lunch, and breakfast. She gets access to her doctors, the proper meds. She has her essentials. And because she's there to live, baby, not to visit, having access to her money doesn't appear to be necessary as it relates to her guardians. And because she's under a guardianship because of reasonable and now apparently justified suspicion that she's being financially exploited, they're not going to even let Wendy blow her fortune from her damn bedside. They ain't going to even let her ass blow it from her facility floor. But I do think that there should definitely be, like Andrew said, there should definitely be like oversight. And Wendy should definitely be able to, but this is the thing, because as I keep saying what she should be able to do and what she should be allowed to do, my brain keeps reminding me, bitch, she's legally deemed incapacitated. So because she's legally deemed incapacitated, she does not get to make decisions that are accepted as sound. Unfortunately, other people, like her guardian and the courts, they get to decide what's best for her. So that's why she's not being listened to. But I do think that a lot of this can be mitigated by her family acting better. I do. They can get more bees with honey than by acting belligerent and reckless and not having no situational awareness when they know they have to go through Sabrina for everything. So get it together and play into Sabrina's bosom. Give her what she's looking for in order to feel like the family is trustworthy. If Wendy Williams, like Tommy said, if she is greenlit to come back down to Miami to celebrate her dad's 94th birthday, this now is an opportunity for the family, once again, to step it up. No drinking around her, no ordering liquor at dinner, no wine, no nothing. Play the optic game. So y'all all can get what y'all want in this situation. But they will have to play the optic game because right now they are on Sabrina's chessboard. They're not on their own chessboard. So they can act the fool all they want to, baby. And Sabrina gonna be able to say, baby, y'all won't see her for another year fucking around with me, baby. Okay? Y'all pose any type of safety risk, baby. Anything y'all do that poses a risk to her sobriety or anything, baby. Bloop, she out of there. So they got to work with Sabrina, whether they like it or not. And they got to help Wendy to get what she wants in terms of more time with her family by just being very easygoing. So I'm out of here. I will see y'all later. I love y'all. If you enjoyed yourself, donate to the platform. $Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here, or paypal.me, spelled just how it is here. Follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv, and email me all the tea on Consciouztv at gmail.com. And I will see you all later. Peace.